Last year, my buddy's business took off, and he's making a ridiculous amount of cash. He makes more in 6 weeks than most of the people make during a year. It's sick, I admit even I'm jealous of him. He'd been dating an equivalent girl for 4 years. She features a strong personality. He's beta-ish and easygoing. So she often just bowled him over and got her own way. Even so, it appeared like they were happy, that they had discussed buying a house together. All signs were pointing to marriage within the near future. Which is why it had been such a surprise when he broke up together with her 2 weeks ago. I finally need to see him last weekend, and his side of the story is crazy. When she acknowledged exactly what proportion he was making last summer, she immediately wanted to quit her job and come work for him. He said no, but from that time onward she regularly pressured him about it, increasing her demands to eagerness to travel the planet together on his dime, have him pay off her student loans, etc. She started getting unjustifiably suspicious. She wanted to understand where he was in the least hours of the day, whom he was texting. I remember we'd leave and he'd stare at his phone half the night answering her calls and texts. He basically wasn't allowed to talk to or hang around with girls alone anymore, regardless of the scenario. She basically ruined their Christmas by being standoffish all day because he only got her a $500 watch. He said by this point they weren't even having sex anymore. She was just resentful and hostile toward him just about 24/7. But that did not stop her from talking about marriage and trying to guilt him into proposing soon. A day she'd be showing him expensive cars, houses, wedding venues, and travel destinations. All she talked about was money and ways to spend it. Finally, a fortnight ago he awakened at 3 a.m. to seek out her awake and browsing his phone. That was the nail in the coffin. After an enormous argument, he ended the connection. She came to her senses and tried desperately to urge back together a couple of days later, apologizing and taking full responsibility for everything. But he smartly refused. Now she's been running her yap to all or any of their mutual friends about how money has changed him and he thinks he's too good on behalf of me now. So now tons of individuals think he's an asshole. I found the entire scenario amusing. If she hadn't altered her behavior, they'd most definitely still be together immediately. Most women would start cooking him 5-star meals and fucking him sort of a porn star. Yet she basically did the other. I do not understand her thought process. It's just like the thought of being rich short-circuited her brain.